Okay, hello. Today we're doing it live, so I don't have any notes. But must be converted, New World. I wonder what happened there. Actually, I think I know what happened there. Never mind. Let's think about that later and enter funworld. Yeah, basically today I'm just going to talk a little bit about the opera I just went to yesterday and what happened to me. But while we're waiting for this to load, maybe you notice that something changed about the GUI, the graphical user interface is kind of smaller. I'm not sure. I must have changed something with the settings. Why is the tutorial on? I guess it's like all new. All right then. But yes. So I went to the opera. The longest opera I've ever went to. Altogether it was 5.5 hours, but there were an hour and a half of intermission in there. And yeah, it's a famous Wagner opera called Tristan and Isolde. You probably, well, I don't know if you've heard of it, but you might have heard of it. It's very famous. And yeah, I do like Wagner actually. Like, I think his operas are pretty fun. I mean, there's like there's a bit of a separation in terms of this German operas and there's Italian operas, and they're kind of like a little bit different. Why? Oh, okay. Where does that guy come from and why? I mean, we hadn't had this kind of problem in a while. Oh well. Some sort of raider or something. Yeah. Whoop. No, it was just a cow. I'm a bit on edge now because I was just attacked by someone with a crossbow. I don't know if you saw this. I'm a bit frazzled. Look, there's evidence. He attacked me with a crossbow. Although if like a crime scene investigator would come, they might also say like, "What? You attacked him? I see his dead body." I mean, luckily he evaporated, so I should be okay. But if his dead body was still there, you know, they'd be like, "You were trying to shoot him with these arrows." Oh, okay, the arrows are also evaporating. All right, I guess we're fine. I don't know if there's crime scene investigators here anyways, but I think we'll be okay. I mean, I didn't want to kill him. You saw it, he shot first. Like Han Solo. Where were we? Alright, so the opera. Yeah, so there's kind of like a little bit of a different... I don't actually... So I'm not an expert or anything. In anything. And definitely not in opera. But I can kind of tell there's a bit of a difference in German and Italian operas. I'm not sure I can put it in words. But if you ask ChatGPT, it's like, what's the difference between Italian and German operas? It'll give you an answer. Will it be a true answer? Probably not. But it will be an answer. And yeah, so what I like about Wagner's operas particularly is I feel like I don't even really know how to put it. I mean, the music is amazing, for one, right? Like, he's very good. He was very good. And he's also a bit of an anti-Semite. And the Nazis really loved his imagery, so that's not so good. But the music he made is pretty amazing. And yeah, so it's actually the second opera of his I have seen, and I think I actually talked about the first one, Tannhäuser, maybe, in one of my very early videos of this format. But yeah, Tristan and Isolde is another like kind of historical fantasy legend kind of story. And what it's about, yeah, I mean, I feel like they're kind of interesting sometimes, these legends, because they don't necessarily follow like modern tropes that well. but then sometimes obviously they influence them. So either way, like this opera was in 3 acts, and the first act is this hero Tristan he's from Cornwall, so basically from like England. He's bringing back the Princess of Ireland, Isolde. There's a couple different names they're named by after, actually Isolde and other things like that, but Isolde is how they pronounce it in German and how I think Wagner would have written it. Well, I don't just think so, they were literally singing the name all the time in German. So yeah, he's bringing her back to marry to his liege lord, Mark. Very modern name, just Mark. And we hear that Mark, he's a good dude, really, you know, he's a good king. And Tristan, he's like this great hero, very honorable, people love him. And Isolde is, the most beautiful maiden, and also she's a bit of a she has a way with herbs and stuff. She's actually like, you know, a little bit got the magic down. But yeah, so they're all like, you know, pretty damn cool people, and there is a lot of focus on the beauty of Isolde, but you know, I mean, I guess that's to be expected. I've actually been watching a bit of a tangent, but this YouTube creator Manifestel, she gives advice to women for dating and stuff, and I don't know, it's I mean, she says a lot of things that I agree with, and then a lot of other things very cynical and stuff. But why do I say this? Oh yeah, because of the sexism towards Isolde. Okay, yeah. So I gathered my train of thought. So it's very much focused obviously on her beauty and stuff, and wait. Okay, so it starts by Isolde and Tristan being on the ship. Tristan is bringing Isolde to marry his uncle and liege lord Mark, and Isolde is not a huge fan of Tristan, actually. Because she was actually supposed to marry a great hero in Ireland, and Tristan killed him, and so she didn't like that. But then also we all learn that in the songs that they sing, you know, it's all just basically one scene in this first act on the ship, you know, and they're all singing about their past. The stage design was great again. Like they had like this moon that they would move around and change color for, and the way where the actors looked, it looked amazing. It looked like cinematic, you know, just even better because it wasn't in the cinema, it was on stage. So, you know, your imagination was really strengthened by the imagery. Yeah, it was really good. And so we learn through the songs that I forgot what the name of the Irish hero was, but he's dead. So we don't really get to see him. We just hear about him. But either way, Tristan and him fought. Epic fight battle. I'm imagining like some sort of anime kind of fighting. And in the end, Tristan slayest him. And was also wounded by him. So it was a bit of a, I don't know if you, this is a little bit my youth, so I don't know if people know about this, but there was this comic event where Superman died. I mean, you've probably heard about it because it's also a little bit dorky. And so people make fun of it sometimes. But he was like fighting with this villain called Doomsday. It's actually a bit of a Grendel vibe if I'm gonna throw in my Beowulf ideas here. But yeah, he had a bit of that like he's massive, hulking, enemy basically just created to kill Superman. Very edgy, very, very double cool. And they were fighting, yeah? And so it was the last blow. They were kind of like knocking each other out and killing each other, right? Except that Superman didn't die altogether. He healed himself because he's actually Superman. And so you can heal yourself if you die. Ooh, a bee. Bumblebee. A bumbling bee. Hello. Hello, little bee. Hello. Ooh, you're so cute, little bee. Will you sting me? If I go close, will you sting me? Hello. We're friends. Isn't that bee cute? It's so cute. Doesn't even have a crossbow or anything. Oh, I could just look at it forever. Oh, okay. Is it pooping honey? Is that what's happening? There's also a lot of honey. Delicious. Ice cream so good. Anyways, where was I? When I saw the very cute bumblebee. Oh yeah, so they knocked each other out, right? The Irish hero fell, and so Isolde can't marry him. And Tristan is deeply wounded. And then it kind of came to it, and I feel like maybe I didn't pay attention or they didn't lay it out very well. But either way, Isolde kind of saved Tristan's life and made him, because she has all these herbal powers. She nurtured him, and he survived. And was then able to bring her back to Cornwall. And so now they're on a ship. But she's kind of like, but I don't like him. I will kill him. And her plan is for him and her to drink poison and die. Very, very Romeo and Juliet. Very romantic, except that they don't like each other. They're like, they're not in love or anything yet, as far as I can tell. Oh, spoiler. But 1 second, I would like to get the craft wooden blanks. The recipe book can help. The problem is I don't know what the recipe book. Here we go. Blanks. Acadia blanks. Should just make a plank? Will they? Okay, alright, good. Then it left me. It just got a bit annoying to have that up there. Either way, so she's planning on poisoning them, but her servant kind of tricks them, sort of. She's like, she doesn't want her mistress to die. I really need to sort all of this crap out sometime, but not today, fiend. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. All right, seems good. Seems good. And instead of poisoning, bringing the poison elixir in the chalice, she actually brings a love potion. And as they both drink, they fall deeply in love for each other, which again is tragic for a multitude of reasons. But for one, because Isolde is meant to be married to Mark, who's Tristan's uncle. And then there's also like kind of this thing, like, Tristan would actually be his next in line if he died. Mark's quite old, at least in this production. He was damn old, boy oh boy. But either way, they fall deeply in love. It's tragic, and they embrace, and that's Act 1. So one interesting thing about all these operas is not that much happens, even though they're very long. Because, they just sing about the same thing for a long time. What I like about Wagner is, like, he doesn't repeat the same lines constantly, so there's always, like, something new said, usually. But for example, so the second act opens, and it's basically just like 40 minutes of them singing about how in love they are, and how tragic that is, because they're not meant to be in love. And so they basically meet in secret, but are betrayed by one of Tristan's men. And so King Mark finds them and is appalled. I am being betrayed by my nephew, who is like a son for me, and my wife. And so he's kind of I mean, the thing is, he didn't really act. He just confronted them. And then Tristan, the hot-headed young hero, attacks a bunch of people and fights with the guy who betrayed him to Mark, and is wounded, deeply wounded, perhaps dead, we're thinking, at the end of the second act. We don't, because we know there's a third act, and the play is called Tristan and Isolde, not, Tristan for 2/3 and Isolde for the whole thing. So, anyways, so that's very sad, their young love can't blossom. I mean, I think like what's also good about this one particular is that like there's no like bad people really in there. They're all like, there's different they're bound by different honor and by different allegiances. And obviously Tristan and Isolde are also not like betraying Mark for their own frivolous reasons, I guess, but because they are bound by the strongest love potion to be tragically drawn to each other. So that's kind of like an interesting aspect. But yeah, anyways, the third act opens, and we see one of Tristan's loyal men sitting on on this kind of stone mound, and next to him is Tristan on a throne, but wounded, asleep, or in a feverish, even one would say. And we learn from the loyal man that he has called for Isolde to come to this faraway place by boat to save Tristan with her potions. And so Tristan is like singing. It goes back and forth like, oh, I am going to die. Oh, is she there yet? Will I see her again? It's like, oh, can you see the boat? And then the guy's like, no, the boat's not here. It's like, oh no, I will die, but it must come today. And so finally she does come. And we're kind of like, oh no, is Tristan dead? Can she have like a moment with him? And they're both lying now on the floor, kind of like embracing death, I guess, when suddenly another boat appears, and this one is King Mark, and we're like, shit, he's come to finish them off, he's like going to end it all, even though we were just so close to, I mean, we weren't really close to a happy ending anyways, but closer, I guess, anyway, so he comes, and then like his loyal Tristan's loyal friend is like, no, I will protect you, and he fights like a bunch of people, and he slays the guy who betrayed him first, who betrayed Tristan in the second act, and then he is slain by a bunch of the men of King Mark's. Let me just quickly see. And we find out, actually, it's been a misunderstanding. He has actually come to give his blessing, basically, sort of, because he has learned of the love potion and that they are... One second, what do I need for this nonsense? Blanks, I guess. Yeah, and that they are basically bound by this love potion, and so he's like, you've not betrayed me. You're loyal, but the magic has gone between us, and so I understand. And I was going to give you, leave to betray me if you survive. And either way, the problem is they're both dead, and like basically the last scene is Isolde walking off into the distance, into, I guess, the Valhalla or something like that. Not Valhalla, because they're not Vikings, but it's kind of implied they're going into the next world. And yeah, that's basically it. And yeah, about 4 hours of singing. It's really beautiful music. It was quite moving. It didn't have any... I like it when there's more dancing. There was a little bit of dancing. All male cast for the dancers. But yeah, I do like when there's a bit of ballet or something. No, just remembered what I actually want to do. When there's like a bit of a ballet there, or some modern dance, something petitulating, That's nice. I like that. But they didn't have that. But it was they did have for I guess people who liked it. They were like very muscular male dancers, but there wasn't very much. And yeah, otherwise like it was just very good opera, and I enjoyed it. The stage design was amazing. And then the one thing. What's funny, I was sitting next to this guy and he like introduced himself to me and was talking, he had such boomer energy. Like I'm trying to become more of a boomer. I think I've talked about this before, this is my quest. My quest and my curse. And this guy, he had boomer energy. He only owned a flip phone. It was amazing. We exchanged phone numbers. And then he did call me in the middle of like the intermission. So I know as he was like talking to me, we were kind of like hitting it off. We were talking about like his family. We talked a bit about politics and stuff like that. And he loves the opera. So I kind of met him, and it was interesting. Like, because he was speaking in English mostly, and I mostly understood him. He's married to a German woman actually, but he doesn't speak much German. And then he, like, in the middle of the conversation, he's also like he looks over to this lady, I would say like in her 40s maybe or something like that, and it's like, hey, this guy, he's from Germany, we're becoming friends right now, you also want to become friends? It's like, oh my god, like I was smiling like, awkwardly, she was smiling awkwardly. It's like, yes, okay. It was oh man, it's such an old interaction. I love when like older people do that, like, they're just like talking. I mean, not necessarily talking to you randomly like this, but like just it's funny because they kind of come from, it's just a different time, right? Like I feel like no one talks to each other like randomly to strangers anymore, and in some ways it is kind of better when you can talk to strangers, so that's actually an option, right? Like it's kind of creates a society that's not as fearful of each other, I would say. But then obviously there's also a lot of like, I mean, there's probably a reason why it's generally, there is a reason why it's generally older men who do this, and who can do this. But I appreciate it sometimes, also being asked for directions or something like that. That's kind of, it's nice, right? Like, I mean, there's a bit of an interaction. Another human looking for something, you can help them. You know, you have a little talk. I was stopped in Shinjuku once by this Greek guy and his Canadian wife. And he was just like, so what can you do around here? You know, we just had like a conversation. And yeah, I mean, I think some people probably find that nightmare fuel, but I think it's kind of nice. I'm working on becoming the kind of person that asks people for what to do around Shinjuku, and generally for the number while at an opera. I mean, I don't know if we're going to go any further with my new best friend, but he did invite me already to his place to watch some opera. I guess on TV. He didn't elaborate. If I'm going to get killed and chopped up, I made a mistake. I'll probably not become a boomer, but I think it's unlikely. Well, I think this is it. I mean, our Minecrafting was so. I would say we got a fair amount of wood. We killed some raider that for some reason. I mean, where did they come from? Why did they attack us? I don't understand. Like, I mean, did you not see that we're like fully armed? I told you this in the earlier thing, we're basically a superhuman. Like, no one really can defeat us. You know, if we're doing it right. Basically immortal. Oh, if we eat food, what I want to do. Yeah, so that was some pretty good Minecrafting, I think, actually. I have a lot of wood now. I should really think about what the next thing is. Yeah, I'll leave it here. It's quite a long video. So see you in the next one, and stay spoopy, friends.